These two are GTS trim Porsches, the 718 Cayman GTS 4.0 and the 981 Gen Boxster GTS. In many ways, they are similar. Both are mid-engine, both are naturally aspirated, and both are brilliant sports cars. But which one's better?
To find out, I'm going to take both of these cars, drive them back to back, and then share my thoughts. But before I do that, I'm going to talk you through the brochure bits on each car individually. Starting with this, the 2016 Boxster GTS. It has a 3.4-liter naturally aspirated flat six, makes 330 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. Now you could have got a 6-speed manual, but this one has the 7-speed double clutch PDK system, so 0 to 60 with launch control is done in just 4.1 seconds. Onto the GTS 4.0, as the name suggests, it has a 4.0-liter naturally aspirated flat six that makes 394 brake horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. Same transmission options, this one is also the 7-speed double clutch PDK system, so 0 to 60 with launch control is done in just 3.8 seconds. So on paper, it kind of is an easy choice. You go for the faster car, right? Well, I think there's gonna be more to the story when we get behind the wheel, so let's go and do that, and we'll start with the GTS 4.0. Okay, so behind the wheel of the 718 Cayman GTS 4.0. It's quite a long name. The 4.0 moniker is actually quite important because originally the GTS for the 718 didn't have a 4-liter NA flat six. It had a 2.5-liter turbocharged flat four. And it was still a properly fast car, but the Porsche community didn't take to it too well. They complained quite a bit. So in 2020, they ditched the 2.5-liter and opted in for this 4-liter. The sound of the car changed completely. There's a very definitive growl that comes out of this car, especially when you're on throttle. I'm quite pleased that the interior of this car has remained largely the same from the 981 Gen to this, the 982, with a couple of different changes. Obviously, they've relocated the sport chrono timer. There's a new steering wheel. The mode selection dial is a dial. It's no longer switches, which is all fine. I'm totally okay with all of those. Although, with the mode selection dial being on the steering wheel, you do end up with a little bit more poverty buttons here in the center console. Not the end of the world. There is a misconception that the 4-liter you get in the GTS is the same as the one that you get in the GT3, but that is not the case. This is just a detuned version of the GT4 motor, and that's fine. There are a couple of things about this car that I'm not a fan of. I can't knock it at all in terms of performance, but in terms of sensation, the exhaust, as good as it sounds, I feel like it should sound a little bit better. It needs to have a characteristic exhaust, a great driving feel. It's gotta make me love it. This car drives excellent, but I don't love it. Rather than explaining it in this, let's go ahead and jump into the 981 GTS, and I'll explain exactly what I mean. We've now switched to the 981 generation, and it's a completely different experience. If you're standing still, it's largely the same car. Seating position, visibility, etc. The controls are all very familiar. But the experience when you actually get on the road is completely different. And I'm gonna credit a lot of that to the exhaust on this car. I don't know what transpired within Porsche when they came up with this GTS, but they put one of the best sounding exhausts I've ever seen on a stock car. It doesn't sound like what you would expect to hear from a Porsche Boxster or a small car at all. I have it in Sport Plus right now, and on throttle, it is a symphony. Off throttle, it's intoxicating. Just have a listen to this. Oh my God, and then, when you're on throttle, it is as good, if not better, than the GTS 4.0. When you shift up, it snorts like a GT3, and when you let off of the throttle, you get the most enjoyable pops and bangs, and it just makes the experience of this car so unforgettable and so addictive. There are other qualities about the 981 that make it more desirable to me, namely in its exclusivity. It's not because I want something that I don't want other people to have. That's not the case. The case is when I am looking to buy a car, I want to get the maximum enjoyment per dollar, okay? On the used market, you can get a GTS very similar to this one in the $60,000 to $70,000 range. GTS 4.0s, there's no way you're going to be able to find one for anything less than around $100,000. And performance-wise, it's really not that different. It's not different enough to justify paying that much more. Then you factor in the exclusivity of the car itself. They made the 718 platform for 8 years. I couldn't find specific figures on how many GTSs they made, but I can imagine it's more than they made of these. They only made this car for 2 years, 2015 and 2016. 2-year production is very short. In 2015, in the United States, they imported 577 Boxster GTSs total. 577. For 2016, which is the year of this car, there's only 260 in the States. And what that means is you can drive it, you can put miles on it, and because there's barely any of them out there, the value is secure in the car. So you don't have to worry about how much money you're losing by putting miles on the car. You can focus more on just enjoying it. And God, this car is so incredibly easy to enjoy. The other thing about this exhaust is it's always changing. It's like a living thing. Depending on where you are in the rev range, where you downshift, how hard you push the throttle, it's always a different sound. And even if you do the exact same thing twice, it will not sound the same. That's what's missing from the 4.0. It's that liveliness, that imperfection. This car's not clinical. It feels like a living thing. Whereas the GTS 4.0, I know exactly how it's going to sound all of the time because it always sounds the same all of the time. And even if it sounds good, if it always sounds the same, it's not a living thing, is it? It's a machine. And you can love a machine, sure, but it's a lot easier to love a living thing. In the corners, this car feels very lively. The 4.0 was a fantastic car to drive, make no mistake, but it didn't feel as nimble as this does. And I think a part of that has to do with the weight. That 4.0 weighs in at around 3,200 pounds, which is very light. I'm not saying it's a heavy car by any means, but this weighs around 2,900 pounds, and that doesn't weigh anything at all. This is basically, I'm driving around in a feather, essentially. I don't know how Porsche made this car so incredibly well and why they didn't make the 4.0 just as good. They should have. I get it. There are restrictions that didn't exist back in 2016. But surely they could have found a way to capture the same magic that they have in this car. I got out of the 4.0 and I was fine. Like, I could look back on it. That was a really cool car. That was fun to drive. I enjoyed it. But I wasn't really bothered by leaving it behind because I knew I was going to be getting into this. And I just know that when I do park this up and I get out of it, I'm gonna hesitate. I'm not gonna wanna get out of it. I'm gonna wanna take the longer way home right now. I'm gonna wanna find an excuse to stay behind the wheel, to keep listening to that exhaust. And that's really what you want from a car. That's what you want from a sports car. It's not just about performance. It's about not wanting to stop driving.
Driving done, what are my final thoughts? I think I made it seem like the 718 GTS 4.0 was a bad car, but it isn't. It's well balanced, has plenty of power, and offers the naturally aspirated experience which, even in the Porsche world, is hard to find in modern cars. I just wish that it didn't take itself so seriously. It's like having a dog that never wags its tail. The 981 generation is arguably less good at being a performance car, but it's so much better at being a fun, engaging sports car. It has a more tolerable ride thanks to the slightly softer suspension setup, it's easier on the wallet, and has such a talent for turning petrol into noise and eventually pure happiness. Both are great options, you really can't go wrong either way, but for me, I would choose the 981.
That's all for this video. I want to say a huge thank you to Porsche Riverside for loaning me their 2024 Cayman GTS 4.0 to do this video for you guys. I will leave the regular links in the description down below to their website and social media, as well as the listing for this exact car, which is currently available for sale. Otherwise, leave me a comment with your thoughts both on the video and these two cars. Which one would you choose? Let me know why. And also, let me know if you'd be interested in a full review of either one of these cars. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.